Welcome to Collections of Cinema.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Collections of Cinema. With me, your main host, Voivy, and the sub-host,
Sub-host?
Danielle.
That sounds like I'm like a stand-in, like
You're
I'm standing in for the co-host or something.
Yeah, you are.
Who's the co-host?
Yeah, we
then?
haven't found him yet.
Him.
Or her.
Let's see how this...
Preferable her with
Sure.
big old boobies. I'm sorry. Hey. Oh, yeah, that's why we need a new host now, because you can't not make weird noises. Okay, everybody, we're back with a new episode.
Hi, everybody.
And this week's episode is a fun one because...
You know what, Vivi? You can just leave. You can just get out.
Oh, I see what you did there. Okay, so we have to explain. If you're a Patreon member, hi Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Then we have a new perk on there where you can pick a movie. Like we send you a link to our list of movies, and then you can actually sneak into the list and see the movies, but also get to choose the movie.
Yes. So that's what Joe did. He got to look at the list of films that we have and pick one.
Danielle said Joe and not Chew or Chew. I don't know. You said it weird.
I said Joe.
I did not. But it's fine. Everybody. So Joe did pick Get Out, a horror movie. Fittingly
Great
for
movie.
August, October.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. And written and directed by Jordan Peele, who is probably well known at this point, but who did a lot of comedy at first, like with
brilliant comedian.
What is it called? Key and Peele. Genau.
With Michael Key. None of us can.
That's fine.
Michael
Keegan Peele. Nah.
Key. Michael Keegan Key.
Keegan Michael Key.
I knew it sounded wrong.
Key and Peele. And they wrote the comedy movie Keanu with Keanu Reeves and like a little cat, and then he went on to write and direct horror movies. Yes. And Get Out was his first. They didn't direct Keanu. Sorry, that was my bad. They wrote, produced, and starred in the comedy, but he didn't direct it. So his directional debut was Get Out in 2017, and it's a psychological horror movie. Let's quickly get into the plot. Again, major spoilers. If you have not seen the movie, I would advise you to stop the podcast now. Pop in a Blu-ray or go on streaming and stream it, and then come back and finish the episode, obviously.
Yeah. So the plot.
Yes.
At first, it starts out almost kind of like I wouldn't say rom-com, but kind of in that kind of genre where it's like, oh, we're going to go meet the parents, you know? Yeah. So it's like a couple, they're living together. They're going to go meet her parents. Yeah. They're staying with them for the weekend.
Yeah.
And
somewhere upstate New York.
Yeah. And Chris is his name?
Yeah.
Is a black man. His girlfriend is a white woman, and he has concerns that maybe, he's like, have you ever dated a black man before? Have your parents, how are your parents with that? He's just starting to feel a little nervous about the whole situation.
Of course.
And she said, they're super accepting. They're not at all racist. My dad will probably ask you a bunch of questions that'll make you feel like uncomfortable, but it's in a nice way. He just really cares and gives a shit.
Yeah.
So basically like that. So that's the setup of that. And then they go away, and his friend, who is I think one of the best characters in the movie, if not the best character, is watching their dog or his dog for the weekend. And that's like the setup to...
That's the setup, yeah. His friend is Lil Rail Howery.
Howery? I don't know how's it spelled?
Howery. Howery. Lil Rail Howery. Yeah, great comedian. Yeah, right. The movie, just a little side notes, the movie made $255 million worldwide on a budget of $4.5 million. So the net profit, so without marketing and everything, the net profit was 124.3 million, making it the 10th most profitable film of 2017. It was nominated for some some Oscars, best original screenplay.
He got best director, didn't he? Or did he get best original screenplay?
Yeah, best picture, best director, best actor. But he I think he just... Oh no, he won only original screenplay.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was nominated for best picture, best director, and best actor, which is crazy because in 2017 the best pictures, they were all fucking amazing, and each of them kind of deserved it, equally.
And not to mention, it might be, I don't know if this is actually true, but in my mind, it might be the first horror movie to be
that was it.
Nominated for Oscars since The Shining.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, The
Shining was the first, I think.
Yeah, it was. It's not often that a horror movie is essentially nominated for the Oscars,
and for so many.
I mean, okay, let's get into the movie.
So basically, they arrive there, and he starts to notice kind of some weird things. Like he just feels uncomfortable. The buildup is really great in that movie.
Yeah, right. And
because it starts out kind of like you feel like, okay, he's just being paranoid.
That's the cool thing about the movie. The movie plays with a lot of anticipations that don't really come. And especially if you have not seen the movie and know nothing about it, you don't see it coming, what's coming. Yeah. Which is kind of cool. Like I remember watching the movie the first time and I was mind blowing. It was really
And just when you kind of think you get, okay, this is probably what's happening, it's like it is, but to a level that you weren't expecting.
Yeah. And he plays with those anticipations really well. Like he puts certain breadcrumbs in front of you that don't lead anywhere, but at the same time then they do. And also I think the racial commentary obviously is like almost the best part about the movie. Yeah. Like first of all, he writes white people very funny. Like he wrote the movie, so he wrote probably with some help the part of the white people, and it's so fucking hilarious.
It's really funny
because it's basically all white people who want to be black, who want to be cool and hip, and it's just so funny. Some of the lines are hilarious, and the same goes for the black people. I mean, the comic relief Lil Rel, he's so fucking funny. He's funny. One of the best parts of the movie, and he's in it for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops. But he has some great fucking scenes. And even the main character, Chris, is super funny. Like, when he tries to bond with the black people up at the estate, and they're all acting super weird and not black at all. And he's like, what the fuck is going on?
It's really good.
Funny.
Well, but okay, so basically he starts to notice these weird things, like this very rich white family has two black people working for them, like employed for them. So one is like, I guess she cleans and she cooks and things like that. And the man is like a gardener and takes care of like the landscaping and all of that. And that gets addressed pretty quickly, where he's like, he feels weird about it, and it's clear he feels weird about it. And then the dad of the girlfriend is like, I understand like what you must be feeling right now, but then he tries to like explain it like, oh, they're a family. They helped my parents when they were like here working for us to help them. And when my parents died, we didn't have the heart to and also to get rid of them.
He explained like their family, and they belong, like we are part of their family, and they're part of ours. A big part of the story of the plot is the what is it called? Hypnotism. Thank you.
Catherine Keener.
Catherine Keener. She's fucking amazing. She's like this very kind of quiet person in the movie.
It's weird because, Catherine Keener is also somebody who's in a lot of comedies. Yeah. And I adore her. I love every role that she's been in. But she scares the shit out of me in this movie. She's scary in that movie, yeah. But yeah, she, like, it starts with he's a smoker, and his girlfriend is like, come on. I mean, she's
doing a lot of hypnotherapy, and maybe she can help you with, you know, getting rid of that ugly, dirty habit, as they describe it. And and she tricks him into hypnotizing him, and that's like one of the first actually really scary scenes where he falls into the sunken place. That's what she calls it. Where he basically, and when I just got chills, because when she says, that's the thing that scares me so much about her character. So she hypnotizes him without him knowing by using like a teacup. Yeah. And so like just the sound of stirring the teacup. And at some point she was like, you're going to fall into the floor now. And he's like, into the floor. Yeah. And he's like, what? No, what? And he's like trying to stop. And then she just goes, sink. But the way that she says it, like her voice gets super low, and like her face is just, it's so fucking creepy. Yeah, it's super creepy. And then he just like falls into the floor. It's visually very cool. So he basically falls into this black void. It almost looks like the universe, it's space kind of. And there's this one little window which resembles his eyes, where he still looks out, but he's super far back. It's a television. No. Yeah, what he sees is through like an old school television, and there's a reason for that. Yes. Even in the sunken place? I feel like it's just a window. No, it's like exactly a TV shape, and the reason is, they talk about it. The reason is that they don't say that's what he's looking through, but they talk about his trauma. It's not a TV, but it's the TV shape. His trauma is based on. He was watching TV and something was happening with his mom, and he could have helped, and he didn't. He just stared into the TV. But it's visually very striking because it looks very cool. He's like in this void of nothingness, and there's no gravity, so he just dangles around there, and you can look out and you can see what his eyes basically see, but he hears everything very distant, and he's still experiencing things, but he has no fucking control, and it's super scary. Like, it's the idea of something like that would happen to you is crazy. But the thing is, I don't want to reveal everything in the movie, because people who have seen it. I don't know how you feel. I don't want to talk about the whole resolution and stuff, because it feels like maybe people are still, you know, I don't want to watch a horror movie, but maybe now they're like intrigued. We said we would spoil things, so I know. I don't think it's a big deal to reveal the ending. But we don't have to talk about every single detail, because I guess most people listening have seen it. But I don't know. I like the way that it's. I mean, like I said, it makes you feel paranoid with him. And then all of a sudden that flips, just like it flips for him, it flips for you. Yeah. So it's like you're kind of on the journey with him in those feelings, because he also at some point was like, okay, maybe I'm just being paranoid. Like, even after he was hypnotized, he wasn't really sure if it happened or not. Yeah. Because he woke up in his bed, but then weird things continue to happen. Yeah. And when he eventually decides, okay, fuck it, I'm going to leave and I want to get out of here. Yeah. Yeah. It becomes very clear to him that everything that happened actually happened. Yeah. Because all she has to do is like tap her glass a few times. Yeah. There's a very interesting, the themes and the racial commentary and all of that was discussed obviously already multiple times, but there's a really interesting article. It was in The Guardian, which said the villains here aren't Southern rednecks or neo-Nazis, skinheads, or so-called alt-right. They're middle-class white liberals. The thing that Get Out does so well is it will rankle with some viewers. Is to show how, however unintentionally, these same people can make life so hard and uncomfortable for Black people. It exposes a liberal ignorance and hubris that has been allowed to fester. It's an attitude and arrogance, which in the film leads to horrific final solution, but in reality leads to complacency. Thank you. That is just dangerous. And it kind of describes it so well, where he puts all those all of the white people are super nice to the Black people, but it's very much cultural appropriation and trying to be hip, because at some point one of them says the Black is the new, I don't know, it's in fashion. Black is in fashion, right? So it's just something that they wear, and essentially that's what's going to happen. So, I mean, we can say it now. If we the white rich people bid on those Black people in a very obviously slave comparable way. And then their mind or their soul, whatever you want to call it, or part of their brain goes into the black person via surgery, and so the black person is still in there, in the void, in this sunken place, and experiences things, but in control is the white person.
Yeah.
I mean, that basically just tells it all. Yeah.
And it's really, I mean, there's so much social commentary on in that movie, but it's also just the idea. I feel like his films are so brilliant and so creative in the way that like they still have like a message behind them, and usually a very important message. But he makes these really horrifying scenarios where it's like you've never seen that before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's
also very approachable. Those movies, like Get Out is not a movie that is like a really horrific horror movie. The horror lays in the scenario of what is happening to the people and how it's happening.
Yeah.
That is the horror, and not necessarily, you see them getting mangled or torn apart or a lot of blood and gore, stuff like that. No, it's not that. And it's also not ghost haunting, jump scary. It's not that. It's brutal at times, especially in the aftermath of him escaping and basically just killing almost all of the family.
It's very Tarantino-esque in that sense, where it's pretty. Yeah. It's. I mean, Tarantino's not scary, but you know what I mean in terms of the buildup, where it builds the entire movie, and then the last 10 minutes are just like brutal. Yeah,
but a lot of people criticize Tarantino for that, for the use of his very over exaggerated violence and hyper violence almost, because it's not realistic in the sense how they portray it, and Get Out is more realistic in that sense, but it still needs that resolve, because there is, like, especially that's just my opinion and just how I observe it, so nope, I hope I don't offend anybody, but I guess that there's a lot of anger in the black community towards stuff like that. Obviously, there's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of built up resentment towards that. And so you need to let it out somehow. And by giving the main character that resolve of, I'm getting back at those people who basically want to take away everything from me. Like they want to take away they sell my body. They sold his body. They sold his life essentially, and just use him as a shell. So you need that bloody resolution, and it's not that bad compared to other horror movies. Let's quickly talk about the alternative ending. Yeah, because
I mean, we should say the ending of this movie, the theatrical ending, was, he's basically standing over or pinned. He's got his girlfriend pinned down, and he's like trying to kill her essentially. She's been shot already, not by him.
Yeah, not by him.
But he was gonna choke her to death essentially. And before he could finish killing her, you see sirens, like the lights on what you think is a police car, but it ends up being his friend, who's a TSA agent, which plays into the movie.
That shit. That's so
TS motherfucking A.
It's so funny.
And you see, and then he basically takes him away. So it's like, it saves him from this situation. Yeah. Which is a great ending, because the resolve is also like, okay, he gets away where nothing happens to him.
And also, right. So,
and you want that. And it's also like a little of a comic relief ending.
It's a comic relief ending. It's funny. It makes you feel good. Yeah. Like, he just killed all of his adversaries, and
you still laugh at the end.
And you laugh at the end. It's a good ending.
Yeah, it's a great ending.
And then the white ending, I would call it, is, of course, the police car shows up. And
it's actually officers who arrest him.
They arrest him, and then the last scene is Lil Rel visits him in the cell or in prison.
And because the house was on fire when he left, and so there's little to no evidence of anything that he's claiming.
Also, it's
happened.
a black person saying something that is so outrageously crazy. So yeah,
that's also a great scene, by the way, in the movie where his friend goes to the police because he basically figured it out what's going on, and he's got this whole conspiracy theory which ends up being the actual
almost
theory.
True,
it's so funny. He's just like how he explains it to the police officers.
That's really funny.
So funny.
It's a great movie. I mean, Us is the second movie I really liked as well.
Brilliant.
A lot of people didn't like it as well, but there is a lot of great social commentary in it.
That movie scared me so much.
There are so many great parts about Us. And then Nope was also fucking great. Like the cinematography in Nope is amazing, and also how it, again, he plays a lot with anticipation and then throws shit in there, like the monkey scene in Nope. Like, what the fuck is going on? And he does it so fucking well, and it feels, I don't know, it doesn't feel off. It just works kind of. And he is very good at that. His next movie is coming out in 2 years, 2026, and I'm very excited about it already. Do you have something else? Otherwise,
I don't think so.
Otherwise, I would go to movie of the week.
Movie of the week.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let's look. Okay, we watched. We have to go back a little bit because otherwise we didn't watch that many movies. So we watched Ronin. We watched Dodgeball, and we watched Furiosa.
I know what mine is.
Dodgeball.
Yeah. Sure, mine is Dodgeball. I mean,
mine is Furiosa, for sure. But yeah, I mean, they're both great, very different, but
we have to come to a decision though. What's movie of the week?
Mine is Furiosa. I'm not going to step down with that one. Nah, I mean, it can be Dodgeball. It's fine.
But we can just post both of them. It's fine.
Yeah. Either way, I mean, Dodgeball 2004, great comedy with Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller.
Again, we've talked about this before, but it's just one of those they don't make comedy like that anymore.
No.
And it's a shame because it's a brilliant comedy.
It's so fucking funny. It's stupid. The whole plot is just nonsensical and dumb, but there's so many great parts of it. I mean, my favorite is Jason Bateman's character.
It's so funny.
He has a cameo as a commentator. I
wouldn't even really say a cameo because he's in it quite a bit.
I mean, only at the last bit and only for a few scenes where you see them actually play.
So funny.
But he has the dumbest look and the dumbest thing. He says the dumbest things. It's so funny.
He is basically, I mean, he plays and he's an idiot. He's obviously an idiot, but he's like a commentator on this
game.
Sports channel.
Yeah.
The Ocho. ESPN The Ocho.
It's so stupid. And they basically just show people playing dodgeball, like in a dodgeball league. It's so stupid.
It's great.
Yeah. And Furiosa obviously is the prequel to Fury Road, Mad Max Fury Road. And I think it's a great prequel. It makes the Fury Road movie so much better.
The thing is, I enjoyed it more than I thought that I would enjoy it.
Yeah, because it has more story than Fury Road.
My issue with Mad Max is it's such a dude film. It's just what I call it. It's like I hate the world. Like I hate like you're just in a desert the whole time. I can't stand it.
It's post-apocalyptic.
I hate it. And then there's like the giant truck things that they're driving on with like the speakers, and there's the guy playing the electric guitar, and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
That's not really in it though. I mean, you see him one time quickly.
But no, in Mad
Fury
Max.
Road. In Fury Road, yeah.
Where
that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's the dude film, because every single guy who watches that movie is like, it's so fucking awesome.
But
it's stupid. I'm sorry.
The Fury Road is a spectacle. It's not like a story-driven movie. It's just, hey, look, we did this in real life without CG, which is fucking insane. Like, they did most of the stunts with the vehicles and all the shit. It's fucking insane.
But okay, so I got the same vibes from this movie.
Yeah.
The first like hour.
Okay.
And I struggled the first hour. I was like, oof, it's basically, it felt the same to me. until she grew up.
Yeah, until Anya Taylor-Joy's.
Once it started with that like truck scene where she was like climbing all over the truck, like trying to get them, kill the people who were chasing them or whatever they're doing. Then it took a turn for me, and then I very much enjoyed it.
The thing is, what I really like about it is Chris Hemsworth as the evil guy.
He's a great character.
He plays it so well because he's still kind of likable in some ways, but then he's like the biggest asshole and just an evil, batshit crazy guy, and he just fucks everybody over.
And his accent is so funny to me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, it's kind of Australian, but it's not. No.
Also his nose and stuff. It's so funny. I really like
the voice that he uses makes me think of something, and I've been like, I cannot figure it out, but there's like a very specific character or person that I hear when he's talking, and I can't place it.
What for me, what just stands out is the arc that you see with Furiosa. She's also kind of the main character in Fury Road, not Mad Max. It's all about Furiosa and the impact. Like in the first movie, Mad Max, it's basically just she wants to go back home, and when she arrives back home, she sees everything's destroyed. There's nobody left there, and she goes back and takes the city. Which basically is the only place where you can actually live. In the first movie, it's just her journey of she gets stripped away from home. Everybody she knows gets killed or get lost, and she ends up in this citadel where she starts plotting her escape again after taking revenge of the person who killed her mom. And it's such a great story. Like the story arc is so great. And I watched in the cinema Furiosa this year, and then I rewatched Fury Road, and the impact of her coming back home and seeing that there's nothing left is so much better. Like Furiosa needs, like the prequel needed to happen to elevate almost, in my opinion, Fury Road, where Fury Road was just a pointless action movie. But now with Furiosa, it's so much more. And watching them back to back is just fucking amazing. It's really great. Sure, there are a lot of scenes that could be cut shorter, but it's actual spectacle, and it's still pretty entertaining if you're up for something like that. But yeah, Dodgeball is fucking funny. So if you have not seen Dodgeball, that's it's a comedy staple.
That's like a must-see comedy. I feel
agree.
like
I agree. That's it.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
If you can dodge traffic, you can dodge a ball.
And I mean, come on, in the spirit of Halloween, I sure do like pumpkins cotton.
It's so funny. Okay. That's it, everybody. If you want to support us, please head over to our Patreon and subscribe there. Joe is still our only member.
And like we said earlier, if you join, then you get to choose a movie like this one. So.
And you can just join for a month and then stop it again. Also, head over to our Instagram where we announce not only the next movie, but also movie of the week and other stuff. We do Trivia Tuesday.
Which will happen today as we record.
Yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Goodbye.